Early morning fog hung over the bay, dampening the heavy-headed sea oats on the dunes. No birds cried. Milky dull green waves broke and spread with no more noise than water makes slopping in a bucket. The lighthouse was set back from the beach, on a gentle rise sketchily covered with scrub palmetto and clumps of coarse grass. Its top was lost in whiteness. Standing at the base of the skeletal metal tower was a man wearing a lightweight windbreaker in a red lumberjack plaid. The man had been standing there a long time, leaning back on one of the structure's supports, bending a knee to rest first one foot and then the other against it. When the muffled drone of an outboard motor reached his ears, the man straightened. He walked toward the beach and stood at the end of the dunes. The motor cut off, its cessation intensifying the hush. A moment or two later, the man in the plaid jacket heard splashing. A figure in a hooded black wetsuit came in view, pulling a blue boat with a ragged canvas top through the shallows. The diver beached the boat in the listless surf. His back was turned, and he didn't hear the lumberjack approach. He reached into the boat and pulled out a burlap sack. The sack seemed heavy, and when he placed it on the packed sand, it made a faint clatter. The diver flexed his shoulders and turned to see the lumberjack a few yards away. He stood still on bare feet as the lumberjack came closer. The two looked at one another, the diver's clenching toes dug in the sand. When the lumberjack shifted his weight, the diver could see the gun clipped to the belt of the man's jeans. "Reckon I better have a look in the sack," the lumberjack said. He stepped forward. The diver bent sideways, as if going for the sack, but at the last minute he pulled a paddle out of the boat and swung it at the lumberjack with all his strength. The broad part of the paddle caught the lumberjack in the face and knocked him backward, down on the sand. The lumberjack shook his head and blood spurted from his nose. When he tried to sit up, the diver smashed the paddle on the back of his neck. The lumberjack pushed himself sideways into the softly spreading waves. He lurched to his hands and knees, his head hanging, a string of mucus and blood dripping into the water. The diver hit him once again, and as he listed forward, the diver dropped the paddle and pushed the lumberjack's head down into the swirling water and mushy sand. When the lumberjack had stopped struggling, the diver sat back on his haunches. His body was heaving. "Don't you come at me," he whispered to the lumberjack's corpse. "Don't you come at me." The diver splashed salt water on his face and replaced the heavy sack in the blue boat. He gripped the lumberjack under the arms and hauled him over the side of the boat. The lumberjack flopped into the bottom like a red plaid fish, but heavy and gone already, without gasping and thumping or arching death throes. The diver splashed his face again. Blinking rapidly, he turned towards the dunes and saw the old lady. She stood skinny and still as an egret, her white hair ruffled on top. She clutched a gray sweater around her. He could feel her accusation moving toward him, sharp and clear. The diver glanced at the boat where the lumberjack lay and said, "I didn't, but it was no use." "Oh, hell," he said, and surged up the beach toward the old lady. She ran faster than he would have credited, her blue-veined legs scissoring, her battered sneakers and crew socks churning through the sand, but of course he caught her. He clasped her shoulders and shook hard, her head jerking back and forth, but still she glared at him, a look so unyielding he got carried away and clipped her a good one with his fist. Her mouth fell open, her eyes turned up, and she fell out of his grasp, disjointed as a handful of toothpicks. He hadn't had more than 2 seconds to contemplate her sprawled there among wiregrass and dollar weeds, when from down the beach he heard a child's voice, thin and piercing, singing, "He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world." The diver left the old lady where she lay and ran back to the boat. His body was slick with sweat inside his wetsuit. He pushed the boat out, guiding it, scrambling